Hi everyone, welcome to TGIF. Another Friday, another episode. Interoperability as a term takes crest precedence in the world of softwares and systems. And of course, the need of the hour is for the systems within enterprise or a B2B scenario for communication to happen in a very coordinated fashion. Healthcare industry, there is significant uptake of digital technologies. And the thematic there has to be interoperability. I caught up with Arvind Raman, our data and AI specialist in Microsoft, and also an SME on healthcare for a short conversation on this very topic of interoperability in healthcare. Arvind, welcome to TGIF.
Thank you, Sandeep. Pleasure to be on the show.
Wonderful. Quickly, so you work with a lot of healthcare customers in the country, and I think I'm always look at your narrative in terms of what to tell customers on healthcare innovations, etc. I thought I'll pick your brains today on where is industry when it comes to healthcare. But first question to you: we talk about interoperability, we talk about standardization, and ton of innovations are happening. So educate us on what's a healthcare scene when it comes to interoperability and standardization.
Surely. So let's start with interoperability.
Yeah.
Interoperability in healthcare isn't something new and has been there over the last many years.
Right.
And we've had organizations like HL7 and others who have defined multiple formats.
Right.
What is new, however, is the push from regulators to make data available in interoperable formats.
Right.
For example, if I am a provider, I foresee a future wherein I would need to make patient data available on a real-time basis through APIs.
Right.
So the opportunity for us as an industry is that we have this huge, rich patient data,
Correct.
and for us to run longitudinal patient analysis on it and gain insights into the customer. So that is a big opportunity that is lying on the table. Moving ahead in terms of innovations, if you look back, Sandeep, and if you visited a doctor maybe a few decades back,
Right.
you would, and if you had a fracture or something of that kind, the process that was followed was a doctor would first kind of take an X-ray, print it on a film, wash it, dry it in a dark room,
Right.
and then hang it against a light source to kind of identify the anomalies.
Correct.
The other challenge also was that because of the proprietary formats used by each of these device manufacturers,
Right.
an organization would have multiple archival storages in different formats which would not kind of speak to each other.
Right.
So a significant, I would say, loss of time as well as of effort and money. Today, coming to today's scenario, if I go into a particular machine, if I go to a particular healthcare provider, the doctor in a single process is able to take an X-ray and get it displayed onto his particular screen. So this is some of the innovations that have evolved over the last many years.
Right.
And one of the underlying technologies in this is the standardization of medical images by leveraging this format called DICOM. DICOM stands for Digital Imaging and Communication in Medicine,
Right.
which is a non-proprietary, globally accepted format for storing and transferring medical images.
Perfect. I think we'll get to DICOM in a bit, Arvind. So now, look, I've always wondered, right, when you walk into a healthcare provider and you get an X-ray done from radiology team onto the doctor's desk, 30 minutes is what it typically takes for them to see it. And there are multiple systems in between from the time it goes to the doctor's desk till the time, from the time you've done the X-ray. So question that has come up many times from customers is, hey, you know what, we struggle many times because a lot of these systems, they don't take raw input, let's say DICOM. There is an intermediary which is there, which at times may not work, but it's a struggle. So that means interoperability is a concern for a lot of systems which are in the healthcare industry, right? How do you look at scene in India right now? You talk a lot of customers in the country, so what's the scene in terms of just the interoperability itself as a thought?
Absolutely. In India, if I would say, it's on a cusp of a medical, or I would say a healthcare revolution.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard about the Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission,
Right.
which is a flagship program run by the National Health Authority, the aim of which is to build in a digital backbone for India's infrastructure healthcare requirements.
Right.
Now, if I have to take a comparison, just like what UPI did in terms of democratizing payments,
Right.
Ayushman Bharat is going to democratize healthcare,
Wonderful.
wherein every healthcare provider, every patient can access the best facilities, be it hospitals, be it diagnostic, be it medicines, be it ambulances across India using an application. Now, for this interoperability, the government of India has put in certain specific standards like FHIR, like DICOM,
Right.
and today we are seeing a huge adoption in terms of healthcare providers and the healthcare ecosystem in leveraging these standards and getting on board with the Ayushman Bharat digital mission platform. So there is a strong interest in the Indian market space.
Wonderful. So that means this is our digital public goods in terms of what you paid it for payments, this is for healthcare.
Absolutely.
That means the data will actually go beyond a healthcare provider's boundary. That means interoperability across healthcare providers. For example, if you want a second opinion on a particular case, how do you send the data across to other hospital where they'll be able to receive that and meaningfully diagnose? So it doesn't happen today, by the way. It's offline, right? I take the reports manually and show it to other doctor. But if they have to exchange information, that's where this bridge you're talking about will be of immense value, because if I'm using an app as a consumer, a recipient of the healthcare provider, I basically decide where do I send information across, right? It's my data, my record. So this platform you're talking about will cater to that requirement on the ground?
Absolutely, and the beauty of this is the whole thing is consent driven. So I could kind of start with hospital A, tomorrow I'm in city B, and I just need to provide a consent to the hospital B to kind of access my records, and then the doctor completely gets to view the complete details and do the right diagnosis.
Perfect. Let's come to DICOM. You mentioned DICOM earlier. Now that's one visual which needs to be exchanged across, let's say, healthcare providers. Now, moment it crosses enterprise boundary, it's a challenge. One is storage, second retrieval. So what do we have as Microsoft? How do we complement that dire need in the industry? Do we have something in the cloud that can make it happen?
Absolutely, Sandeep. Considering the huge focus on interoperability, Microsoft, as a part of its healthcare data services, are providing a fully managed service for the DICOM service.
Wow.
It's a PaaS service which is completely PHI compliant as well as HIPAA compliant, wherein you could be assured that your information is safe within your specific tenant, within your specific subscription, with all the specific regulations of role-based access controls and others, including data privacy, aptly applied. So the way DICOM works is that it takes a particular medical image and extracts the metadata from it in the form of DICOM tags. Now, just look at a use case wherein a doctor wants to do I would say, provide effective care to a patient. So in this case, what he would do is, leveraging the DICOM service, he would extract the metadata and then integrate it with my clinical data. And thereby, a radiologist today is only able to see a specific image. He'll also be able to get in the specific body parameters, weight, blood sugar, and other details, and then kind of do a proper diagnosis. So a DICOM not only helps in kind of easy retrieval storage, but also helps in effective patient care.
Brilliant. You also use a term, Arvind, called DICOM cast, which we spoke earlier. So tell us about what is DICOM cast and DICOM, and how do you differentiate that?
Surely. So DICOM cast is a service that helps me to build a unified view of the patient. It kind of integrates my clinical and imaging data. While DICOM is a non-proprietary format for storage of medical data, DICOM cast goes one step ahead and helps me to integrate these different data sources into a unified storage.
Perfect. I think aptly said, Arvind. In fact, today hospitals, if they're looking at a new way to archive radiology images, right, or MRI scans, etc., and you need a non-proprietary form, I think we offer the service in Azure, which is DICOM service and DICOM cast both, right?
Absolutely, Sandeep. It's just as simple as leveraging, enabling a simple API service within your Azure account and getting in all the benefits that we just now spoke about.
Wonderful. Arvind, thank you so much for time today.
Thanks, Sandeep.
Wonderful. So as Arvind rightly said, as a healthcare provider, if you're looking at standardization, interoperability, and looking at a non-proprietary form to store information in the cloud, Azure offers DICOM service as well as DICOM cast, which is the capability to bring in clinical data and imagery together. With that, thanks for watching us today. A wonderful Friday. Keep watching TGIF. Have a great weekend ahead.